Do you think the Gucci clone conspiracies were a reflection of how toxic like the hood mentality is?
It was entertaining to me.
Yeah.
I kind of thought it was funny. I enjoyed the Gucci clone. I ain't gonna sit here in front.
Do you feel like a clone sometimes?
No, I don't feel like a clone, but I did kind of like the, man, that shit was funny.
Talks about the cloning thing.
Run some facial recognition programs on you, and you're going to need to be this man. And you're going to need to also contradict whatever you speak about so you can create a balance in this scene of hip hop that you're in, because you're the only one who can really pull it off.
Yeah. Does that make y'all laugh, or do y'all die laughing when y'all see the clone Gucci?
I didn't used to like it at first when I first got out. I felt like it's discredited everything that I had been working so hard to do. You know what I'm saying? I felt like people was hating, saying I was a clone instead of saying,
dumb.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
So the talk on the streets about Gucci Mane supposedly being cloned doesn't sound so impossible to some people anymore. Especially after what Kanye West recently claimed, because he straight up said the real Gucci passed away while locked up, and the version we're seeing today is a government-made clone being managed by his wife, Keisha, who he called a handler.
I've been personally playing for about 8 years now. It started around around Illmind 5 when that came out, because the song was so big, and then they told me I had to kind of sacrifice something. They said you're gonna have to pay it back because you just put this information out there, and this is gonna put people in the wrong mindset of what we're trying to do in society. So they told me that if I don't do these list of things, then they're going to hurt my family.
What about him? His daddy, right? Bill Cosby, his son, right? Dr. Dre, his son. Out in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing.
Let me just show you how I know this is not Kanye. So Kanye is 5'8". Kim is 5'2". You see, he's got a little hat on his boots. She's got some heels on. You notice the height difference? Here's him with Julia Fox. She is an inch shorter than him, wearing heels. You see the height difference?
That's a wild accusation, especially since she's the one running his social pages and keeping a close eye on everything he does. And buckle up, because these details only get messier as you dig deeper into this whole situation. Every part of this theory has shocked people, and it keeps twisting in new ways. What makes this even more dramatic is that Gucci's ex, Mac Breezy, and even Nicki Minaj had hinted about something being off long before anyone took it seriously. People brushed them off as exaggerating, but now folks are looking back like, maybe they weren't just talking. The whole thing goes back to 2013 when Gucci had that wild Twitter meltdown that shook the entire industry.
Died down now, but when I first got out, I ain't gonna lie, I used to be annoying. I used to be like, that's so lame.
Did you talk to OJ?
Yeah.
What you was gonna put in the book?
Yes, I talked to OJ. I talked to OJ yesterday. That's my dog.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
And it had a Gucci suit. A Gucci bodysuit. And I said, oh no, please don't tell me that is what I think it is. They said, yeah. They came out with this whole thing. Gucci Mane is actually, he's locked up somewhere.
Higher
and
industry. He started calling out everybody. Yeah, Nicki, Waka Flocka, T.I., Angela Yee, A$AP Rocky, French Montana, Tyga, Birdman, even Black China. Nobody was off limits. It got so messy he even kicked Waka out of Brick Squad, accused Jeezy of biting his style, and threw out some extreme claims about Nicki and Angela Yee. The internet still hasn't forgotten those tweets. Not long after that meltdown, Gucci got arrested, and that's when the clone rumors started buzzing. According to reports, police grabbed him in Atlanta after people said he was acting strange and making threats in traffic.
Y'all laugh, or do y'all die laughing when y'all see the clone Gucci?
I didn't used to like it at first when I first got out. I felt like it's discredited everything that I had been working so hard to do. You know what I'm saying? I felt like people was hating, saying I was a clone instead of saying...
You supposed to be uplifting him and empower him and speaking affirmations and uplifting his spirit. Not saying you're sick, you're weak, you need me. What? That is demonic as... That is demonic. So I go in the booth. And he was like, yeah, say it again. And I was like, is you rolling? Is you rolling? And he said, keep saying it.
They asked him to be cloned and changed into something else. I'm surprised they didn't show more about it. It was kind of weird. All right, and then...
When officers tried to detain him, he reportedly charged at them, and once they searched him, they found controlled substances on him. It wasn't his first run-in with the law, but this was the one that finally put him behind bars. Before that incident, he had already been arrested for allegedly hitting someone with a champagne bottle at a nightclub. The court saw him as a repeat offender and gave him more than 3 years. though he ended up serving about 2 because of good behavior. While he was locked up, reports started saying he was working on himself, but depending on who you ask, that's where the story gets complicated. While in prison,
It was funny because we seen each other on the airplane, right? And he was sitting in my seat.
Oh, God.
That's
It's the
funny.
craziest junk ever. I ain't no told the story, right? He's sitting in my seat, right? So I'm like, damn, I don't even want to talk to him, but I got to tell this dude, get out of my seat. So it's like, I'm like, hey, man, you in my seat, you got to get out of my seat. But he see who it is. He like, well, I'm sitting in the same seat. Can you sit in mine? I'm like, nah, I can't sit in your seat. You just got to get up. That was the conversation we had prior.
Damn. If there would have been anybody else, you probably would have been like, God, go ahead, get
You
sit.
got to get up.
Think y'all know the real Gucci? Y'all don't know the real Gucci. That parading around out here, that ain't the real Gucci, man. That's not him. I don't know where the Gucci is, honestly. Like, last time I seen Gucci was at Patchwork Studio in 2010. Like, that's the last time I saw Gucci in the flesh, but even that was just his flesh. Gucci was nowhere to be found. I looked dead in the eyes. That was not in there.
Now, apparently, everyone's seen Gucci Man and Keisha Kayor's interview, which it was really for Gucci, but somehow it turned into the Keisha Kayor show, and he was supposed to be promoting his new book that he just released. Somehow within that interview, it took a turn where Keisha is now describing to the Breakfast Club that Gucci suffers from schizophrenia, and he's been battling it for years now, and she's basically the reason why he haven't been on any social media having outbursts, or how nobody seems to notice his condition, because she does such a good job at making sure it don't show. Now, let me talk to my day one Gucci fans for a minute, right? My Gucci so icy fans for a minute, right? My Gucci when he went to the Breakfast Club the first time and exposed Angela Yee for what she did.
while in prison, Gucci said he finally understood how bad things had gotten and admitted his addiction had taken over his life. He said he wanted to get clean, hit rehab, and start fresh once he got out. So when he came home, he really did step out as a completely different person. Sober, more focused, working out, sounding clearer, even looking healthier. And that's the exact moment when people started saying, hold up, that doesn't look like the same Gucci. The internet went crazy with theories claiming the real Gucci didn't make it out of prison and that the man released was actually a government clone. Things got even wilder once he married Keisha right after coming home. Some people claimed she took over his entire image, from his social media to his daily routine, making the conspiracy theories explode even more.
Yeah.
Does that make y'all laugh? Or do y'all die laughing when y'all see the clone Gucci?
I didn't used to like it at first when I first got out. I felt like it's discredited everything that I had been working so hard to do. You know what I'm saying? I felt like people was hating, saying I was a clone instead of saying, yeah, I didn't like it. Yeah, it died down now, but when I first got out, I ain't gonna lie, it used to be annoying. I used to be like, that's so lame.
Did you talk to OJ?
Yeah.
About what you was gonna put in the book?
Yes, I talked to OJ. I talked to OJ yesterday. That's my dog. Yeah.
What do you think about it?
And empower him in speaking affirmations and uplifting his spirit. Not saying you're sick, you're weak, you need me. What? That is demonic as that is demonic. So I go in the booth.
Let me just show you how I know this is not Kanye. So Kanye is 5'8". Kim is 5'2". You see, he's got a little height on his boots. She's got some heels on. You notice the height difference? Here's him with Julia Fox. She is an inch shorter than him, wearing heels. You see the height difference? Yeah, here he is with his new wife, who is an inch taller than him. She's 5'9". Notice the heels. I want to say those boots are the same boots he was wearing with Julia. Like, they might add 3 inches on him, but so do her heels. There is no way he would be towering over her like that. Like, that is not Kanye. Look at that. There's no way. If he is 5'8" and she is 5'9", and you've seen all the other comparisons and height difference, like, it's not possible.
Keisha started giving people major handler energy, and then things exploded even more when Nicki Minaj jumped in after Keisha mentioned her during an interview. Nicki fired back saying Keisha was basically there to keep Gucci calm and enjoy the benefits of his success, and that one comment sent the internet into overdrive. Overnight, the clone rumors came right back to life with even more intensity. But the truth is, these theories didn't start with Nicki at all. A whole year before she ever spoke on it, Gucci's ex, Mac Breezy, had already claimed the man who walked out of prison wasn't the same Gucci she knew back in the day. She said something about him felt completely different, and every time she tried to talk to him, Keisha would suddenly step in like she didn't want Mac getting anywhere near him. Mac even posted online saying the version of Gucci people see today just doesn't match the guy she knew in 2010 during those studio grind years. She said she hadn't seen the real Gucci since those early days, and whatever was out here now just wasn't him. After Nicki's comments blew up everywhere, Mac didn't back down. She actually doubled down. She even dropped a whole track demanding that the real Gucci's body be revealed, saying Keisha knew way more than she was letting on. It was dramatic and had everybody talking. Eventually, Gucci himself stepped in to address everything. He said he simply grew up, cleaned up his lifestyle, lost weight, and focused on becoming a better version of himself. But instead of shutting down the rumors, his calm explanation made people even more suspicious because they felt like he wasn't reacting the way someone falsely accused would normally react. And just when it seemed like things had already hit the peak of strange, Kanye West decided to jump in and stir everything even more.
I don't care who you are. I ain't taking those fights from nobody, right? I ain't taking those fights from nobody. It's God. That's the only person that I serve. My mom ain't here. My mama was sacrificed.
Me too.
You understand?
Yeah, I'm a Christian too.
Michael Jordan, what about him? His daddy, right? Bill Cosby, his son, right? Dr. Dre, his son. You know, out in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing. Feels like it might be a lot of that in order to control, traumatize. They want to monetize and traumatize.
Talks about the cloning thing.
Ran some facial recognition programs on you, and you're going to need to be this man. And you're going to need to also contradict whatever you speak about so you can create a balance in this scene of hip hop that you're in, because you're the only one who can really pull it off. And I said, oh man. So yeah, they came out with this whole thing. Gucci Mane is actually, he's locked up somewhere, and he's still, he never did go to the gym.
So there was that one. He just was claiming that they asked him to be cloned and changed into something else. I'm surprised they didn't show more about it. It was kind of weird. All right, and then
It
has already started. They said you're gonna have to pay it back because he just put this information out there, and this is gonna put people in the wrong mindset of what we're trying to do in society. So they told me that if I don't do these list of things, then they're going to hurt my family or hurt, people that I really care about. And they told me to go to this office. It was on Wilshire Boulevard in Los Angeles. And then when I went in, I asked them over the phone, what are they going to have me do? They said they couldn't tell me. And then when I went into the office, they sat me down, and it was like an all white room, and they opened one of the doors, and it had a Gucci suit. A Gucci bodysuit.
Kanye has brought up cloning theories in the past, but this time people actually paid attention, mostly because of when he said it. The timing made everything sound way more suspicious than usual. He even said something like, "So I go in the booth," hinting that he knew details about how cloning rumors spread around the industry. And here's the twist. There was a time when people thought Kanye himself had been cloned, with tons of fans online convinced someone tried to replace him and failed. That's why some folks believe he knows exactly what's going on with Gucci, which makes the whole situation even stranger. And then there's rapper Hopsin, who once went live on Instagram and dropped a shocking claim that left everyone frozen. He said certain powerful people in the industry tried to force him to become Gucci's clone and threatened his family if he refused.
And he don't want to get up.
I can't, cause my pride won't let me say that you in my seat and I just, okay, I'm gonna sit over here.
Pride won't allow him to be like, man, Gucci Man told me to get up and I moved.
Oh, he got up and moved. He got up and moved.
Every once in a while, the pictures come out and say Gucci's a clone.
Yeah.
Does that make y'all laugh, or do y'all die laughing when y'all see the clone Gucci?
Do you think the Gucci clone conspiracies were a reflection of how toxic like the hood mentality is?
It was entertaining to me.
Yeah.
I kind of thought it was funny. I enjoyed the Gucci clone. I ain't gonna sit here in front.
Do you feel like a clone sometimes?
No, I don't feel like a clone, but I did kind of like the, man, that shit was funny.
Yeah.
It was funny, like, damn, they think I'm not really the same person. I didn't look at it like, it didn't offend me. I kind of wanted them to keep it going.
That's a compliment.
Yeah, like now they on my dick again. Now it's like, now I'm not a clone. Keep going with the clone shit. Don't stop that.
When I asked them, how much lithium did you want to put me on exactly? It took them 4 days to answer because they were embarrassed about the amount, right? And I refused to take this, right? You understand that if I had taken the medication, I would not be here, and it would have been, wildest, he was deeply troubled. We miss him. We love his music, though.
Well, they would have Britney Spears too. I mean, look at
They would have Michael Jackson.
And I said, oh no, please don't tell me that is what I think it is. They said, yeah, it's exactly what you think it is, pal. And I said, no, please, no, not the Gucci suit. They said it's the Gucci suit. This is the only way that you can repay for what you've done. And I said, not the Gucci suit, please. And they said, it's the Gucci suit. They said, we've ran some facial recognition programs on you, and you're going to need to be this man, and you're going to need to also contradict whatever you speak about so you can create a balance in this scene of hip-hop that you're in, because you're the only one who can really pull it off. And I said, oh, man. So, yeah, they came out with this whole thing. Gucci Mane is actually, he's locked up somewhere, and he's still fat. He never did go to the gym.
At first, people assumed he was joking or trolling. But now, with Kanye hinting at things and the internet pointing out every odd detail about Gucci's transformation, folks are looking at that clip in a whole new way. Some people are starting to think Hopsin might have been telling the truth this whole time, and now folks are looking back at his story with fresh eyes. He said everything started around the moment his track Ill Mind of Hopsin 5 blew up. And that's when certain powerful people pulled him aside. According to him, they told him he had to pay a price for putting out a song that made people think too deeply, and they warned him that if he didn't follow their demands, his family could be put in danger. That alone had listeners spooked. Hopsin described being taken into an all-white room where they showed him a full Gucci Mane clone suit, like a whole body outfit meant to make him look like Gucci. When he realized what he was seeing, he said, "Please don't tell me that's what I think it is." And according to him, they just looked at him and said, yeah. Hearing that story now, people don't know whether to laugh or get nervous. As expected, the internet went wild with theories. Fans began pointing out small details, like how Gucci supposedly never shows his eyes anymore. One person said his eyes used to be a different shade of brown, but now he's always hiding behind sunglasses. Another person said something about his whole energy feels different, that if he isn't a clone, maybe it's the meds, maybe it's something else. But whatever it is, they swear it doesn't feel the same. People kept arguing about this clone idea like it was an unsolved mystery. So how did these cloning rumors even start? Where did this whole theory come from? To break it down, you've got to rewind and go all the way back to the beginning, May 2016. Gucci Mane finally walks out of prison, and right away, people say something is off. He's around 50 pounds lighter, speaks way clearer, and even his famous ice cream cone face tattoo looks a little different in photos. The internet went into full panic mode instantly. People online started asking, is this really Gucci Mane or some kind of government experiment? And even though it sounded wild, the conversation grew so big it almost felt believable to some folks. Could the real Gucci have been replaced? How could someone change that much? That fast, after years of being in chaos? That's the moment the Gucci Mane clone theory officially took over the internet and became one of the biggest hip-hop conspiracies ever. Fans wouldn't stop debating it, posting comparison photos, analyzing old interviews, pointing out details they thought were proof, and pushing the idea everywhere online. And today we're digging deep into how the whole thing started, what people thought they were seeing, and why millions got pulled into this bizarre storyline. Everyone wants to know what really happened. On May 26, 2016, Gucci was released after nearly 3 years locked up on charges connected to controlled substances and firearms. Fans expected the same unpredictable, raw Gucci they'd known for years, but the man who came out was completely different. The first photo showed a version of him that was lean, clear-headed, well-groomed, and almost unrecognizable to the people who remembered his old lifestyle. And just like that, the conspiracy exploded. The famous belly was gone, his jawline was sharp, and the whole vibe around him felt completely different. This new Gucci was calm, focused, and speaking with clarity like he'd been training for public speaking while locked up. Suddenly, he was promoting discipline, positivity, and staying clean, a total flip from the unpredictable version people remembered. The internet had no idea how to handle this switch. Some people celebrated the transformation, saying it was one of the biggest glow-ups the rap game had ever seen. But others were convinced something wasn't adding up. The change felt too intense, too fast, too polished. And before long, the whispers turned into full conversations. People were claiming the real Gucci never walked out of that prison, and the one they were seeing was a clone built to replace him. That was the moment the infamous Gucci Mane clone theory officially took off. And like every conspiracy, folks came armed with what they called evidence, ready to break it down piece by piece. The first thing fans pointed at was the dramatic physical transformation. His huge weight loss became Exhibit A, with people saying he looked way too different. Social media was filled with side-by-side pictures showing old Gucci versus the new one, and everybody had an opinion. Then came the debate that fueled everything: the ice cream cone face tattoo. The tattoo he got back in 2011 suddenly looked lighter, slightly faded, and in some photos, people said it even looked like it shifted a little. Some fans suggested natural explanations like aging, weight loss, or even a touch-up. But conspiracy fans claimed it was a cloning mistake. Even Complex magazine stepped in, saying tattoos can fade naturally over time. But the fact that Gucci didn't show his face tattoo clearly at first only made people more suspicious. Then there was the upgrade in style: clean outfits, perfect white teeth, and a polished, put-together look. Any one of those things by itself made sense, but all of them happening at once had conspiracy lovers yelling "clone" louder than ever. But the biggest red flag for many wasn't how he looked, it was how he acted. The Gucci who came home didn't move like the man who went in. He was calm, focused, wiser, almost like he had a whole different spirit. His tone changed, the way he talked changed, the way he carried himself changed. Some fans even joked that his accent sounded different. One person said he was talking so proper at times that he almost sounded British. It shocked people. It was such a dramatic shift that it left the internet wondering if prison could really change someone this much, or if maybe this was someone entirely new wearing Gucci's face. Clone theorists definitely didn't think it was personal growth. To them, this wasn't transformation, it was substitution. They believed the real Gucci would never have changed this drastically, and in their eyes, the man who came home was a carefully built copy. Polished, calm, controlled, and industry approved. People online started saying the new Gucci was a swapped-in version, while the real one supposedly disappeared behind bars. And that idea spread fast. What started as a couple random comments instantly turned into a full-blown wildfire across the internet. The Gucci Mane clone theory became unstoppable, like the entire timeline was locked in on it. Social media feeds were packed with comparison pics, tattoo close-ups, breakdown videos, and endless memes. The hashtag Gucci clone started trending everywhere, and suddenly everybody thought they had some kind of inside knowledge. Then things went from wild to completely out of control after a fake news post claimed that rapper Boozy Badazz said that ain't the real Gucci. The quote was totally made up, but once it spread, people didn't care. Even Charlemagne the God jumped in and pointed out the interview didn't exist. But by then, the internet had already run with it. In an era where people hit share before they ever fact-check, one fake quote turned into what half the internet saw as proof. Some folks were clearly joking and posting memes for fun, but others started believing the theory with their whole chest. As podcasts, comment sections, and hip-hop circles kept pushing it, the rumor turned into a modern myth. The Gucci clone theory went from a simple joke to a full piece of digital folklore. So how did Gucci take all this chaos? Surprisingly, he stayed cool about it. He didn't get upset or defensive, he actually played into it a little. At one point, he posted a Snapchat video smiling and saying he would neither support nor deny the accusations. That one chill response sent fans into a spiral. People started saying, why not just deny it then? What's he hiding? Then he dropped the First Day Out the Feds music video, and that's when things really went crazy. Because the video literally showed multiple versions of him, like actual clones standing together. It was clearly him having fun with the rumors, but conspiracy believers saw it as confirmation and ran even harder with the theory. And to make it even wilder, Kanye West popped back in and added more heat by rapping the bar, "Now that Gucci's home, it's over for you, Gucci clones," in the track Champions. That single lyric made people lose their minds and push the conversation even further. A few years later, in a 2018 GQ interview, Gucci talked about how he changed, saying he had grown into a completely different person and finally loved who he'd become. Soon after, he shared a side-by-side photo on Instagram with the caption, "Haters gonna say you was cloned." Those little jokes kept the theory alive for years. Whether he was just having fun or smartly playing the PR game, it worked, because fans would not let it die. And honestly, it makes sense that the theory stuck around. It played into people's obsession with celebrity glow-ups, their fascination with drastic makeovers, and their doubts about what's actually real anymore. In a world full of edits, filters, and picture-perfect images, Believing in a clone almost felt easier for some people than believing someone could truly change. Gucci once said that sometimes people just want to see you fall, and maybe that's part of why the clone theory took off so fast. But that wasn't the only reason it turned into a whole cultural moment. Conspiracy theories make complicated situations sound simple, and in hip-hop, where legends rise overnight, stories like this fit right in with the drama people love. There's also an emotional layer to it. A lot of fans grew up with the old Gucci, the wild, unpredictable version who created some of the biggest trap anthems ever. When he came back calm, focused, and polished, it didn't hit the same for some folks. Believing he was a clone gave those fans a way to hold on to the version of Gucci they remembered from the beginning. Plus, there's always the public's distrust of the prison system, so the idea that something mysterious happened behind bars wasn't hard for people to latch onto. Put all that together, and it's easy to see why the theory made sense to so many people. And of course, it was entertaining, dramatic, chaotic, and tailor-made for the internet. But once you look past the noise, Gucci's transformation actually makes sense. The weight loss? That came from intense workouts and a strict diet while he was locked up. The tattoo differences? Things like fading, lighting changes, or even laser touch-ups can make tattoos look different over the years. And his new attitude? That's what happens when somebody gets clean, gets focused, and decides to rebuild their life. After almost 3 years behind bars, Gucci found clarity, balance, and stability. Even his collaborator, Zaytoven, said his growth came from reflection, not replication. Gucci also handled the rumors in a smart way. His playful responses kept him trending and turned internet gossip into free promotion. And honestly, clone rumors aren't even new. Paul McCartney, Avril Lavigne, and even Eminem have all been hit with the same accusations after big transformations or time away from the spotlight. The Gucci theory followed the same pattern. People questioning what's real and struggling to accept that sometimes real growth looks unreal. And at the end of the day, clone theories are basically modern-day folklore. They reflect people's fear of losing what feels authentic in a world shaped by fame, image, and the pressure to be perfect. So what's the final verdict on Gucci Mane's so-called cloning? It's more of a lesson than a mystery. It shows how internet culture can turn a personal transformation into entertainment for millions. What started as a comeback story spiraled into memes, debates, and proof that didn't prove anything at all. Because when you look closely, the real story isn't about a clone, it's about human growth. Gucci's weight loss, his clear mindset, his calm energy, they all point to one thing. Real change takes real work, and he put in that work for himself and his future. Is there any actual evidence that Gucci Mane was cloned? No, not even close. Even officials have brushed off those claims as pure science fiction. But the theory still lingers online, not because people truly believe it, but because the story is just too entertaining for the internet to let go. Gucci himself has said he's changed, saying he's transformed into a different version of himself and genuinely loves the person he's become. And honestly, that massive transformation might be the real reason people believed the clone rumors in the first place. His growth was so dramatic, it didn't feel real to some folks, and that's exactly why it became such a fascinating story. At the end of the day, this entire debate probably reveals more about us than it does about Gucci himself. The so-called Gucci clone has turned into one of hip-hop's wildest, most unforgettable legends, part myth, part meme, and part reflection of how obsessed we are with fame, control, and drastic transformation. It shows how fast the internet can turn one person's glow-up into a full-blown mystery. So now the real question is yours. What do you think? Do you believe Gucci was actually cloned, or is his journey just a powerful example of what real growth and self-improvement can look like when someone puts in the work? And while we're asking questions, do you think Kanye was hinting at something deeper with his comments? Or was it just another bold moment that the internet grabbed and ran with? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this topic gets crazier the more people talk about it. And before you go, make sure you like this video, share it with someone who loves hip-hop drama, and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss our next deep dive into another wild, messy story.